William James, the psychologist, he had this great quote. The greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind.
Hmm. Powerful stuff.
Right. And today, we're actually doing a deep dive into a story that just perfectly captures that.
All
We've
right.
got sources giving this really compelling first-person account.
Yeah, someone who went from, well, deep unhappiness, burnout.
Exactly, to finding real purpose and the key, shifting their mindset. So our mission here is to unpack not just what happened, but really get into the how
How they did it, yeah.
and figure out the principles, that maybe you listening can take away from their journey.
And I think it's important to say up front, this isn't like some abstract idea.
No.
This is raw. It's honest. It looks at the struggles people don't see behind, what looks like a successful life.
Right.
And it shows how sometimes something really unexpected can just kickstart massive change.
Okay, so let's jump in. The scene is 1980. Our person, they've just graduated law school. They had this dream since they were a teenager, going to be a lawyer for life.
The classic path.
Totally. And at first, it seems like it's all working out. Passed the New York bar, admitted to practice, got married early 81 to Dolores, their law school classmate.
So on paper, everything looks great. Success, happiness.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. The textbook. But the sources tell a different story pretty quickly.
Yeah, that outward appearance, it starts to crack.
Mm.
The sources say after practicing law for a few years, this deep dissatisfaction started setting in, which really makes you think, doesn't it? This path that was supposed to lead to success and happiness, well, the reality was something else entirely.
So what was it? What was so bad about this dream job?
Well, they get specific.
Okay.
Things like mounds and mounds of tedious paperwork and motions to be filed, constant delays and postponements.
How about the delays?
Yeah, they mentioned trials sometimes being postponed 10 times. Can you imagine?
No, that sounds soul-crushing.
Totally. They talk about dreading going to work most days, feeling this weight of the world on their shoulders, just endless frustration.
And it wasn't just in their head, right? It started affecting them physically.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It manifested in a big way. They were, and I quote, literally hunched over and in pain.
Wow.
Had headaches all the time, a stomach that was constantly churning.
Yikes.
And the really interesting part, they went to doctors, but the doctors found nothing physically wrong. The only suggestion was Melox for the upset stomach, which just, highlights how much this was mental, psychosomatic.
Yeah, the mind-body connection is powerful.
Definitely. That sustained negative state was taking a serious physical toll.
So things really come to a head around early 1985.
Right, shortly after turning 30, a real low point.
They described feeling spiritually dead. Life just lacked meaning. And they even said, despite being in their late 20s, they looked like 40.
Oof. That's rough.
Yeah. And then there's this moment, this breaking point, sitting alone one evening, just desperately saying, there's got to be more to my life than this. There's got to be more than this misery and unhappiness.
That cry for help, even if just to themselves.
Exactly. And then later that same night, this is where it gets kind of wild.
Okay.
It's like 1 a.m., they can't sleep, feeling totally down, just flipping channels.
We've all been there.
Right. And they land on an infomercial.
Oh, no way. Not usually the source of life-changing epiphanies.
Yeah, exactly. They said normally they would change the channel instantly, but for some reason, maybe that desperation, they just listened.
Wow. Okay, so what was the infomercial for?
It was for a product called the Mental Bank.
The Mental Bank.
Yeah, a home study course. And get this, it was endorsed by Florence Henderson.
Mrs. Brady. Seriously.
Seriously. And the core idea, the pitch, was all about how everything we achieve in life is based upon our subconscious beliefs.
Ah, okay. So tapping into that deeper level of the mind, the stuff running in the background.
Precisely. The idea that you could, reprogram those underlying beliefs to change your results in life.
Interesting. So what do they do?
Well, fueled by that desperation, they just went for it. Pulled out the credit card, ordered the program right then and there.
Impulsive.
Totally. And apparently their wife Dolores was pretty shocked when they fessed up a day or two later.
I bet.
Yeah, not because of the money necessarily, but because it was just so out of character buying something off a late-night TV infomercial.
Right. Not something a serious lawyer typically does.
Exactly. But here's the really important part. When the program actually arrived, there was this immediate shift. They described being fascinated and excited to begin learning how our thoughts determine the quality of our lives.
That spark.
Yes, it was a totally new idea for them. They even say, they don't teach you this stuff in school.
Which is such a good point, isn't it? Why don't we learn these fundamental things about our own minds
Yeah.
in, like, regular education?
I know. It's kind of crazy that people often stumble onto this stuff only when they hit rock bottom.
Yeah, totally by chance sometimes.
So the mental bank, it wasn't like the final answer.
No, it sounds more like a doorway.
Exactly, a catalyst. It got them fired up to look for other motivational resources.
Okay, so they started digging deeper.
Oh, yeah. They dove in head first, reading Napoleon Hill, Og Mandino, Norman Vincent Peale, Robert Schuller.
The classics of positive thinking and self-help.
Right. Started reading the Bible regularly, too. And listening to audio cassette programs, remember those?
Oh, absolutely. Zig Ziglar, Earl Nightingale, titans of the industry back then.
Yeah. And the way they describe finding this material, it's really vivid.
How so?
They use this analogy, saying they felt like a person who had wandered for days in the desert with a parched throat and then suddenly found a stream of water.
Wow, that really paints a picture. Just starved for that kind of information.
Exactly. That sense of relief, of nourishment. It shows how important it is to actively seek out things that resonate, especially when you feel lost.
Absolutely. So did things change immediately?
Well, they're clear it wasn't overnight. You know, it takes time to shift deep-seated patterns.
Sure, makes sense.
But they say from the moment they really started to shift from a negative attitude to a positive attitude, they began seeing significant results.
Okay, like what?
Tangible stuff. They felt better, had more energy, started to achieve goals that they would never have accomplished before.
And they attribute this directly to the change in attitude.
Directly.
Yeah.
All because of a change in their attitude. And there's this great detail later on. When they were 44, people would ask their age and always say, "You look so much younger."
That's amazing. Like a physical manifestation of the internal shift.
Right. Proof positive on their face almost.
So they're doing all this self-study, feeling better, but still working as a lawyer full-time.
Yeah. And that created this internal conflict, you know.
I can imagine.
The positive thinking helped their attitude at work, sure, but they felt this growing passion for their hobby, the self-improvement stuff, that they just never, ever felt for the legal work.
Ah, the classic dilemma. The safe path versus the passionate one.
Exactly. So how do you bridge that? Well, the first real steps came in 1989.
Okay, what happened then?
After about 4 years of really digging into this attitude stuff, they actually agreed to teach some adult education seminars, evenings, local high school.
Wow, putting it into practice.
Yeah. Pay was tiny, $30 for each 2-hour class. But it wasn't about the money. They talk about being absolutely petrified before the first one.
Oh, I bet. Public speaking can be terrifying.
Totally. Heart-pounding, sweating. But somehow they managed to muster the courage to just do it.
That takes guts. And how did it go?
That's the turning point, really. The students loved the class.
Nice.
And for the speaker, they got a real adrenaline rush from presenting the material that had revolutionized their own life.
Ah, that feeling. Sharing something you're passionate about and seeing it connect.
Exactly. And realizing it had the power to do the same for others.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many people miss their calling because those first steps seem too small or too scary?
Right. We wait for some grand sign, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, that adrenaline rush, that sense of purpose, it basically sealed the deal. In 1990, they made the incredibly difficult decision
Which
to
way?
phase out their law career over the next few years.
Wow. That's a massive leap.
Huge. Think about the investment. 4 years of college and 3 years of law school, right? 10 years practicing law,
No.
projected earnings of $100,000 plus.
Yeah, you're walking away from a very secure, well-paying, high-status profession.
Definitely not a casual decision.
And practically speaking, how did they manage that transition? It must have been tough financially.
Oh, for sure. They acknowledged they had saved some money and they started selling some merchandise stuff with their Attitude is Everything logo.
Okay, diversifying a bit.
Yeah, but still they had to take a huge financial step backward at first.
That's often the case, isn't it?
Right.
Following your passion sometimes means tightening the belt for a while.
Definitely. But the internal drive was just too strong. They described feeling pulled out of the legal profession and into my new career, feeling invigorated and full of life when speaking or writing.
That feeling of alignment, where your work energizes you instead of drains you, that's powerful.
So the phase out was gradual, worked 4 days a week as a lawyer, then 3 days, then 2 days.
Smart way to do it, easing out.
Yeah, until finally in 1992, they went full-time as a motivational speaker and writer.
Amazing. But was everyone supportive? You mentioned the status of being a lawyer.
Ah, good point. No, not everyone was thrilled initially. The sources mention their mother specifically.
Oh, what was her reaction?
Disapproval, basically. It wasn't as prestigious, less cachet than saying my son is a lawyer.
Right. That external validation piece can be hard for families sometimes.
Exactly. And it taught them a valuable lesson. Sometimes you have to face the fact that some people will disapprove of your decision.
Yeah, you can't please everyone when you're making big life changes.
Right. And you might have to let go of some things. Take a few steps backward before you can move forward.
That's a key insight. Did the mother eventually come around?
Yes, thankfully. The sources say she eventually became very supportive once she saw their passion and the positive impact.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah. And ultimately, the reason they share this whole detailed story isn't to brag or impress anyone.
Right.
It's purely to demonstrate, as they put it, how drastically my life changed and how much better it got when I made a change in my attitude.
Ooh, living proof.
Exactly. Proof positive that, indeed, attitude is everything.
It's such a compelling narrative arc.
It really is. And this whole personal journey, it wasn't just a one-off thing for them. It actually became the foundation for, serious research.
Okay.
Yeah, they spent more than 14 years really digging into why some people succeed and others don't.
Wow, 14 years. That's dedication. What did that research involve?
A lot. Reading a few hundred books and thousands of magazine articles, listening to more than 2,000 hours of audio cassette programs,
Ooh.
and conducting tons of interviews with high achievers, really trying to distill the essence of success.
Okay, so gathering a massive amount of information. But here's what I think is really key.
What's that?
They didn't just read about it. They personally applied each and every success strategy they talk about.
Ah, right. They lived it first.
Exactly. They had firsthand experience that these ideas work and that they have the power to literally transform your life.
Yeah.
That's the difference between just, academic knowledge and actual wisdom gained through doing.
Yeah, theory versus practice. Huge difference.
Totally. You can read all the books you want, but until you test it in your own life.
Right. So from all that research, all that personal experience, they boiled it down. They created this three-part framework, something actionable.
Okay, a practical model. Let's hear it.
All right. Part 1 is think. Subtitle, Success Begins in the Mind.
Makes sense, given their story.
Right. This part focuses on the power of attitude and belief to shape your destiny. How success really initially depends on the way that you think, your internal landscape.
Got it. Foundational. What's next?
Part 2 is speak. Subtitle, watch your words.
Interesting. So connecting thoughts to language.
Exactly. This bit concentrates on the way that you speak, how your attitude gets reflected in your words, and crucially, how using positive language can help to propel you toward your goals.
So it's not just what you think, but how you articulate it, even to yourself.
Mm-hmm. And then part 3 is ACT, subtitle, Heaven Helps Those Who Act.
Ah, the action piece. Can't just think and talk about it.
Nope. This covers the absolute necessity of taking action steps that will turn your dreams into reality. They stress that you can't sit back and just expect success to pay you a visit. You gotta do something.
Right, so it's think, speak, act. It's like a complete system, isn't it?
Exactly.
When you align all three, your thinking, your language, and your actions, so they all support your success, well, then you're really firing on all cylinders. That's when you're on the way to achieving phenomenal results. It's holistic.
Yeah.
Internal world, outward expression, concrete steps all moving together.
Such a clear, powerful framework built from such a dramatic personal turnaround.
It really is.
So just to recap this deep dive, we've followed this incredible journey, haven't we? From, real unhappiness in a career that looked successful.
Yeah, rock bottom almost.
To finding this life full of passion, purpose, all kicked off by changing their attitude and then really committing to growth and putting these ideas into action.
And the core message just shines through.
Yeah.
Your attitude fundamentally shapes your reality, but also that change is possible. It's possible through deliberate, conscious shifts in how you think, speak, and act.
Definitely. So here's something to maybe leave you, the listener, thinking about.
Yeah.
The author, even after all this, describes themselves as a work in progress, still learning.
Humility there.
Yeah. So thinking about their own first steps, that kind of crazy out-of-character infomercial order, or getting up to speak when they were terrified.
Yeah, those uncomfortable first actions.
Right. So the question for you is, What's one small, maybe slightly uncomfortable action you could take this week? Something that aligns with a deeper desire you have, even if it feels totally outside your comfort zone right now.
Just one small step.
Yeah. Maybe just think about where you might be holding back and how just a tiny shift in that think, speak, act approach, how that could be the start of your own breakthrough, big or small.